Perfect. So welcome everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Pam Walter, the founder of Map Connected. And just right now, I think this is a nice preview to Craig Stack, the co-founder of Truepic. He is a new Map Connected My Warranty Network member and sponsor. This is a little snapshot into Truepic, who will also be at the annual summit in what is it, 10 days time. But I just for those who haven't or haven't purchased a ticket yet, or maybe new to Map Connected, there is a special offer out there from Truepic for attending this webinar. Please reach back out to me if there's interest. There is some free and buy one, get one tickets still available for OEMs and warranty processors and suppliers. But we have a great group of people attending the conference. Was looking at numbers earlier today, and there's 170 some odd names on the list. In a very packed 2 full days. We will also we also have some special events that I've advertised here on the slide, which is a warranty workshop about streamlining warranty approvals that Ford is hosting. And the person, actually Dan Dobbs, who is hosting that workshop on Monday, October 20th, is actually here on the call. We have a dinner that night that is we have about 70 people registered for the dinner. It's a nice kickoff to the event, and it's hosted by the AI SWLM think tank, which we've been busy all year meeting nearly monthly on virtual events, and we actually have 5 project roadmaps that are ready for sponsors to take specific projects in for POCs. But they're sponsoring that dinner on Monday the 20th. We will have some Shark Tank style presentations, and then both Ford and General Motors are going to be giving some deep dives into what some of the projects that they're already working on with in the AI area, as well as future aspirations. So please, that's a nice opportunity for people to get involved in that dinner, as well as meet those AI project roadmaps sponsors in a more personal atmosphere over breakfast. During the conference, we're having an open house in the morning where you can actually come in and meet them. And it would be remiss to mention that the AI think tank is a combination of OEMs and AI solution providers, and we've co-developed these applications with some manufacturers and AI providers. And if you just don't mind just going really quick to the second slide, Craig.
Sure.
And just this is the 5 different projects that we are looking for sponsors for. And I will actually now hand it back over to Craig so he can start the official part of the webinar.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Pam. Thanks for hosting today. And thank you all for taking the time to learn about what we do. And everyone's busy, so really appreciate that. And excited to share this information with you, and of course hear any thoughts or feedback you might have, and answer any questions that you have. So don't be shy. We're gonna have a Q&A at the end, but if anything pops up along the way, feel free. So the first thing I wanted to touch base on is what the warranty claims inspection process looks like today, right? And what we see in here from our customers is that TPAs and OEMs are facing rising costs. The claim cycle is slow, and the customer frustration, due to legacy and manual inspection process is there, and it's often rising. And in today's day and age, we've got customers that expect, an Amazon level quote speed, not a claims process that might take, a week, right? And, part of this undoubtedly are manual inspections, right? And we can see delays, we can see inconsistent quality. There's obviously a lot of times the headache factor that comes with some of these folks that are supposed to be doing the inspections and don't show up on time or show up with bad attitude and all that good stuff. And along with this, there's the fraud piece of the puzzle. And that with unverifiable submissions, it's estimated this is costing TPAs and OEMs hundreds of millions of dollars per year, and some stats we've seen are up into the billions. And here's some data. This is from 2025 U.S. Auto Warranty Annual Report. And what you kind of see here, high level, is that warranty claim costs continue to rise, right? And growing accruals are happening year over year. And now they're estimating that these are going to rise even more with the tariff ripple effect, right? And obviously, you all saw this during COVID when used car prices go up, and they're starting to see what appears to be the same trends. And so the conclusion is that, claim costs and volume are rising, and that makes in-person inspections even more challenging. And this brings us to the virtual inspection advantage, right? And we view this as the modern response in today's world, and undoubtedly where the future is going. And the trend that we are seeing is that administrators are pushing back, and they're replacing manual inspections with verified digital evidence. And there's a lot here, so I want to go in to why they would do this, right? So first and foremost is cost. And when you look at a traditional boots on the ground inspection, average costs I'd probably say are in the $110 to $150 range. Obviously, if it's a difficult location, those costs can go up dramatically. We've had customers say they've paid as much as $300 plus, to get a boots on the ground, right? When you compare that to a virtual inspection, it's a fraction of the cost, right? Really volume dependent, but think anywhere from the $10 range to $25 range, depending upon volume. And that's just in the apples to apples cost of boots on the ground versus virtual. Now, there's also ripple effects. And what we see here most commonly is the preventing extra time in a rental car. So, when you're on the hook for providing a rental car, if you can get that virtual inspection triggered same day, which all of our customers do, as opposed to waiting 2 days or sometimes even 3 days for that boots on the ground, that's, less time in the rental car, right? And with respect to the speed, we've got some customers that are averaging under 10 minutes from when they request the photos to when they've received them, verified them, and approved or denied the claim. And not only does this benefit, the ultimate, the driver of the car, but the repair facilities, the dealerships, they're thrilled because they don't want to sit around and wait, to do the work. They've got the car up on the lift. They want to get the approval. They want to get going, right? Now, the next big hurdle is, can we trust the information, right? Can we prevent fraud? Because we know, what's happened. You guys have seen and heard this time and time again, where people can get very cute with photos, reusing, recycling photos, editing them, And now, obviously, with Gen AI, all bets are off, right? Anybody can take a photograph, drop it into Gen AI, ask it to edit a few items, or you could just go in and have it create something net new. And we all read about AI every day because it's everywhere we look. But these models are getting updated every few months. And keep in mind, every time they release that new model, that is the worst it will ever be, right? They literally, as it stands today, seeing is no longer believing, and that's really only going to get worse as time goes on. So that brings us to Truepic Vision, the company that I started close to 10 years ago. And high level, how it works is when the repair technician touches the button, captures a photo or video, we're going to run that through over 40 fraud prevention and fraud detection tests. And we're going to ensure that not only is the image itself accurate and has never been edited in any way, shape, or form, we're also going to ensure that the metadata, so the time, date, and location is accurate, right? And we do a whole host of tests that kind of act like a web, so to speak. We're also going to prevent any existing photograph from being utilized, right? And this is really where the guys just take advantage so easily. They will save hundreds of photos of damaged pieces or parts and just reuse them again and again and again to justify an unnecessary repair. So we're gonna stop all that day one. We're gonna analyze all of this for authenticity, and then we're going to immediately, in under 2 seconds of when that photograph was captured, ship it back into the platform so it can be reviewed, right? So it goes right into your claim workflow. There's no waiting, there's no guesswork, right? And this is the layer of trust that enables the automation without sacrificing the accuracy. And the end result, is that we're going to save a lot of time. As I mentioned, these can be done in minutes. We take the really conservative and say, okay, it's going to be done day one, but the vast majority of our auto inspections are done in hour one from when they're requested. We're going to be a fraction of the cost. On this slide, I was very conservative. I put the lower end price point that we see for boots on the ground, call it 110, and I put the higher end price point that we charge for our smaller auto customers, like in the $25 range. We've got some automotive OEMs and big warranty companies that do, tens to hundreds of thousands of inspections with us a year, and that price is much lower than that 25. And so you're going to see, a 50% plus faster cycle time. You're going to see a minimum of a 4x cost savings to the traditional process. And this is before we factor in, rental car savings and whatnot. And I want to pause here. We've got a special guest, Mike Roberts, on the phone. I'd love to hear, Mike, any kind of questions, thoughts, comments you have so far with respect to what I've shared, and love to chat with you on those.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Craig. Thank you. So I've had the opportunity to actually do some pilots with Craig in several different OEMs, and the software works. I mean, it's incredibly flexible, it's fast, high quality, and really roots out fraud as good as anything I've ever seen. So the software does work. But so a couple questions, Craig. So what does a typical inspection look like? Is it one picture or is it a collection of photos?
Got it. So it's totally customizable. So we call it a photo list. Think of it as a checklist or like a photo guide for the user that's going to tell them the specific photos or videos, we do both, and or questions you want them to answer. And it's completely customizable, and our customers can have as many different types of photo lists that they would want. So if it's a VSC versus a tire versus a glass, it's going to ask for different photographs. Most of them are always going to say, hey, I want a picture of the VIN, I want a picture of the odometer, I want a picture of the whole car, and then I'm going to want specific photographs of the broken piece or part, damaged area. but it's completely bespoke and customizable. And like I said, the use cases are as far and wide as you would like. You get as many different photo lists that you can dream of.
Okay. So let's go to the example that I know a lot of OEMs send a person out in this situation where they have what we call a sludged engine. So it's a customer, they have 30,000 miles on their vehicle. They didn't understand that, hey, you'd need to change the oil, every 7,500 miles. They've never changed the oil. A dealer gets that vehicle in. They think it's going to be a sludged engine. They want a decision from the manufacturer. They send a person out. How could your photo list help in that situation so they don't have to send an inspector out?
Yeah, sure. So in that scenario, they're going to have a specific photo list, probably titled sludged engine, right? And on it, it's going to tell the technician, here are the photographs we want. We want the VIN, we want the odometer, and we want you to pull the oil pan out and take multiple photographs of the oil pan or the filter, right? To show that that's exactly what's happening, right? And so it's just going to be a specific photo list that just walks that user, that technician, directly through it. And most of our auto inspections, Mike, they're probably done under 2 minutes. A lot of them are done in under a minute. Right? You'd be surprised how many photographs you can take in 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. Staying on the engine theme, I worked with another OEM, and they required the engine to be torn down, and then they required 4 photographs of every engine cylinder. They wanted to check, out around scoring. Who knows what they wanted to check, but they wanted 4 photos of each cylinder. So for a V8, if my math is correct, that's going to be somewhere around 32 photos. Can that still be one case along with the VIN and the serial number of the engine and everything else? So I mean that's going to be a pretty big one, right? Can you handle that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got customers, we do a lot of work in insurance as well as warranty. So we do a lot of high value home insurance, and those inspections are anywhere from 50 to 200 photographs, right? Because it's pictures all throughout the home. So yeah, that would just be another photo list breaking out, the specific photographs we want, but absolutely 32 photographs is not a problem at all.
Okay. Let's move away from engines. Let's talk about tires, and then we're gonna pause and see if there's any questions. I think there's some chat questions coming in, but so let's talk about tires. And maybe this would have to do with the approval of a road hazard claim, or maybe a warranty claim, or maybe it's repair versus replace. I think you actually have a photo or a picture, if you'd be willing to share it,
Yeah.
of a nail or a screw in the tire. So what would a typical tire inspection photo list look like? And then maybe we can ask James, hey, what else would you want to see in a situation like this?
Yeah. So they're typically asking for the user to take a picture of the DOT number as well on the tire. Sometimes they'll say, hey, put like a tread depth, take a picture of it. But yeah, I mean, it's a great use case. As we know, there's a lot of, typically, unless there's like multiple tires, that are damaged, a lot of times they'll just kind of auto approve it because they can't justify paying $100+ to send someone out there. And I hate to say it, a lot of the repair facilities are aware of that, and they just get very cute. And they'll save a picture of a blown tire or damaged tire and use it again and again and again. And we're going to stop that, right? And we're working on, some, everyone, as we know, AI is all the talk and all the hype, and it's super exciting for good actors and for bad actors. I talked about how bad actors can take advantage of AI, and they can use it in seconds to manipulate images or create net new images to basically commit fraud with insurance and warranty. The good news is we can do it. We can use it to help with efficiency. And something our team is at work on, and we hope to have by the end of the year out in production. We've got a few customers that are going into beta. One is a big warranty customer of ours for this exact use case. And what we're able to do is have custom AI prompts that would review the photograph and basically help mitigate the claim. And so an example in this, Mike, would be, we would say to the AI, is there a tire in this photograph? Yes or no? Is there a nail or a screw in the tire? Is the nail or screw deeply embedded in the tire as if it had been driven on, for some period of time? Is there or are there scratches or damage to that nail or tire to also further indicate that it is a damaged nail or tire that has been driven on for quite some time? Because I hate to say this, but we've seen it. Where, bad actors at repair facilities will take a new tire, not a new tire, let's take a new nail or screw and just hammer it in the tire, right? Or place it so it looks like it's embedded. And so this is on the newer front. Our team is hard at work at this. I've seen some of the production beta work, and it's very, very exciting because this is the future state, right? The future state will be where we can give you the confidence that A, this photograph is 100% authentic, B, it came from today at this exact location, and then C, the AI will be able to look at that photograph and help mitigate that claim.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions that have come in? Or anybody have a question they'd like to ask? Because I got plenty more.
And Mike, if you're getting bored, we can come back to you at the end, or we can keep going. I'm happy either way.
Well, this Rick Wilhite, I put one on the chat, and I figured you guys would just read it. But I can go ahead and say it myself if you can hear me.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I was just curious, is this a kind of an application that a customer could acquire, whether it's perpetual subscription, doesn't really matter, but hosted on systems that they control, or is this a service where pictures, videos have to be passed over the internet to the service and then answers come back, or a hybrid of both?
Yeah, no, sorry about that. So we're a SaaS company, we're a software company, so we provide the solution directly to the customer. And so we customize it for the customer, from JMNA to GSFS to Safeguard. These have all been customers for many years. And we enable them to trigger that virtual inspection anywhere they want, to anybody they want. And then as soon as that end user, in your world, let's call it the technician, snaps the photographs, that data goes through those 40 fraud prevention detection tests right back to the dashboard that we provide to the OEM or the TPA or whatnot. We've got all sorts of APIs that can also push that information into your existing, CRM or anywhere else you would like it. But no, we're giving you the solution. We have dedicated customer success folks that work with you, so they'll help you with branding and questions and all that good stuff. But yeah, the tool is definitely yours, and that data comes right back to you in real time.
Can it run on any modern cell phone?
Works on any cell phone, any modern cell phone or tablet.
But again, the compute, the checks, the analysis, that's done on your SaaS servers and answers come back.
Yes.
So you got to pass
Yes.
the video, pass the
Correct.
pictures. And I'm just asking because dealing with some customers that we have, they get a little concerned about data, and it'd be surprised how sticky they'll be sometimes. So I was just curious. And maybe if I meet you at Map Connected, I can ask you how you got over some of their concerns, because we run into that as well with AI and other things.
Yeah, for sure. And we can connect offline, but we work with lots of big banks, insurance carriers. We actually do all of the business credentialing for Equifax, TransUnion, Dun & Bradstreet, LexisNexis, Verisk. So like all the folks that control all of everyone's consumer credit data on this call, they all use us. So
Got it.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's buttoned up.
Perfect.
So
Thank
you
you.
figured that out.
We did. We checked that box, fortunately.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, we'll keep going. If people have questions, send them in on chat, raise your hand, or just interrupt, whatever you'd like to do. But Craig, another thing you and I worked on together on a pilot with an OEM was the feature of OCR recognition, optical character recognition. And great feature. Parts usually have tags on them, and the tag usually has maybe a model number, a serial number, a name. Engines have tags. Pretty much every part made anymore has some kind of tag on it with a serial number. A tire has a DOT code. How can your OCR, optical character recognition function, help and take advantage of that information, whether it's on a DOT code or a part tag?
Yeah, great question. So we've built in OCR. So if there's digits, letters, characters, numbers in that photograph, we're going to ingest them and display them. And then we went one step further in the auto space. We've got a lot of customers in auto space, and they requested, additional efficiency. So some of the features we've built in would be a VIN recognition. So for instance, if you were expecting a certain VIN, that could be entered into the inspection. And then when the user captures a picture of the VIN, either in the door jamb or the windshield, we'll not only extract that OCR, we'll do a comparison and let you know if it matches the expected VIN or if it doesn't, right? We did something very similar with the odometer, right? So if you're expecting the odometer to be in a certain range, let's say I said, oh, well, there's 30,000 miles in my car. Well, we know there's not exactly 30,000. So we want to give a little bit of a range. So we can say, okay, we're expecting Craig's car to have between 29,000 and 31,000 miles on the car. Well, when the technician or the user goes to snap a picture of the odometer in the dashboard, we'll weed out all the other noise. So all the mile per hour, any of the clock, anything else that's in there, we'll extract just the odometer, and we'll then tell you if it falls within that range programmatically. And if it doesn't, we'll flag it as a warning. And if it does, we give it a little green check, right? We also have people grabbing, to your point, DOT numbers, receipts, appraisals, anything you can think of, when we're grabbing all that data. And the cool part is all of this we can API wherever you guys would want, right? And as we know, data is paramount to to efficiency and other things. And so we can grab that data, we can push it wherever you want, and then we can you guys can start building models off of it and further enhancing, everything from fraud prevention to better efficiency.
Okay. So far we've talked a lot about the inspection process, and what can we do to get information in as opposed to sending a person out, and how can we improve the inspection process. But if we change it up a little bit, most OEMs have parts. It's kind of funny. I'm sitting here looking out my front window, and Amazon pulls up. And when Amazon delivers something, what do?
Take a picture.
They take a picture. Okay. I don't know if that's your app or not, but man, I mean, photo,
That's right.
it's just becoming a way of life anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, where I was going before Amazon interrupted me is, most OEMs all have a part return process, and they tell the dealer, oh, we want you to send this part back. And we get, 25 of them back. We get 50 of them back. They ship fenders, they ship windshields, they ship all these parts back. A lot of times they get a part back and they look at it, they go, I wanted a tire pressure monitoring sensor. You sent me a spark plug. Okay, wrong part. Get rid of it. Or, hey, yeah, this is a tire pressure monitoring sensor, but it's not the original one that came with the car. Deny that claim. So in the whole part return process, how could your photo app improve that process?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've got a lot of ideas. I'll start with the high level, but when you think just high level about how much money and time is spent on the shipping and handling, it blows my mind, right? Especially just to get a piece or part to scrap, right? Just to prove that, hey, that that dealership or repair facility really had the broken piece or part, right? And some of these things, and I know I'm telling everyone things that they know, they're ungodly big or complicated. It could be a big bumper, it could be a windshield that's shattered, right? I mean, these are not small, light, easy to ship things. And, and and then there's the handling part, right? And we all know with inflation, everything has gotten more expensive, right? So we think there's a huge opportunity, Mike, to replace a lot of the parts return. And, with verified photos and videos, being able in real time to prove that this individual really does have that broken piece or part. And then further, you know, if the case warrants it, where you have to really pressure test to make sure that the item is fully taken out of the ecosystem, we can help there, right? To give you an idea, we do a lot of work with the big TPA called Sedgwick, and they're using us for their product recalls. And we just did one. It was written up in New York Magazine. It was like a 1,000,000 unit air conditioning unit, and they had to make sure these air conditioning units were taken out of the ecosystem because there's mold that's growing in them. And so they basically said, I mean, the old option, Mike, was they would have to physically ship a large, heavy, defective air conditioning unit. Just imagine how expensive 1,000,000 of those are, right? And imagine the pain in the butt for everybody to have to ship down to the UPS store or whatever. Now they say, take a Truepic. We need a Truepic of the item, the serial number, and the cut cord in the photograph. So they know that this isn't a bad actor, and we stopped a ton of bad actors. The numbers were mind blowing. So Craig truly has the air conditioning unit, number one. So we're not going to be sending him a $300 gift card, for replacing the item when he's a bad actor. And number two, the cord is cut, it's out of circulation, it's done. So I think there's a lot we can do with parts return.
Okay.
Maybe I'm sorry, Mike, go for it.
I was just going to say, I mean, I think your opportunities are, course inspection, part return, and then prior approval. I know OEMs, I know Ford, we used to do metal trim and glass, prior approval, take photos, submit them, perfect application for that. I know other OEMs have put wheels on prior approval. Others have put assemblies on prior approval. And I know that Dan Dobbs on Monday afternoon of the conference, which I think that's the 20th, is going to be talking about prior approval, and these would be two great things to kind of blend together. So again, lots of opportunities. So we talked about inspections and part return and prior approval. What's next for Truepic? What's next on the horizon? What are you working on?
The guys never stop working on stuff, and the cool part is we get a fair amount of our really good ideas from our customers, and so we're always ears open to what our customers are saying. Hey, this is great, but would make even better. So one of those was what we call the Truepic Risk Network, which we launched a few weeks ago. For quite some time, we had people saying, hey, if you saw a bad actor someplace else and then they came over into our ecosystem, will you let us know? And so we built just that. And so when the user opens that app up, we're grabbing the unique device ID and we're tracking it. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tell you if we've seen that device ID before within your ecosystem. And there very well might be a good reason we have. It could be a technician, Bob, that does 5 Truepic inspections every day. Cool. That makes perfect sense, especially in the warranty world. There might be a reason that it's pointing some nefarious activity. We'll tell you when we have seen it, what were the results? Was everything on the up and up? Or did we catch bad activity, meaning did the person take a picture of a picture? Did they have a jailbroken phone? Did they try to spoof their time, date, or location, right? And then we'll also, part two of that is we'll let you know if we've seen that device away from you and at another one of our customers. We won't tell you who that customer was, but we'll say, hey, we saw this device on April 14th, and here's what it did, right? So that's something we've recently launched. A lot of customers are very excited about that. The next big thing, I kind of talked about this a few minutes ago, is incorporating these custom / bespoke AI prompts, right? And from an efficiency standpoint, we think that's going to be the holy grail. When you think about how much time and energy people spend at a desk looking at photographs, trying to QA them, approve or deny a claim or whatnot. If we can take AI and have it do that for you, but do it better, faster, and at a fraction of the cost, that's what we think is really, really going to be a total game changer for our customers. So the team is hard at work at that. And, we're excited to hopefully get that out in the next couple of months.
Okay, sounds good. Any other questions from the audience?
So I think, Mike, first of all, thank you as always for your questions. I know that they always keep me in my toes, and I think that the audience probably got a lot from them. So appreciate that. I know we've got a few minutes left. What I thought I'd do is just kind of quickly walk through 2 case stories, and then I also want to share an automotive savings calculator that I think people will find pretty interesting. We put it together for a bunch of our customers, and the numbers are pretty compelling. So, a first example was a customer of ours, NTP. They thought they were having a lot of fraud. They weren't sure. They rolled us out, and the information they found was pretty compelling, to put it mild. They were getting, much higher submission of fraudulent, claims and recycled images. And they ultimately discovered a fraud ring that had taken them for a couple $100,000. And when all was said and done, they had reduced their suspected claims by about 70% using Truepic. And they're now able to just focus on the legitimate claims they get every day and not play detective and try to, spend the day chasing down, bad evidence. Another customer of ours, and Mike talked about this, has been Ford. They've been with us for years. Really focused on the non-Ford dealerships, maybe like the out of network, repair facilities and whatnot. And as Mike talked about, using it for that prior approval, right? And they were able to pretty dramatically cut down their in-person inspections, while also getting, the information they need in a much more timely manner. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys, this is pretty cool. This is a savings calculator that we built. Can you guys see my screen? It says Business Impact Calculator.
Yes.
Wonderful. So I'm going to kind of go through this fairly quickly, but I think you guys will find this pretty interesting. These are actual numbers for one of our customers. We built this calculator about a year ago, and then we met with all of our auto customers and walked them through their specific numbers. And so this particular company, they triggered 32,000 inspections last year, of which 27,000 were started. I'm going to circle back to that in a minute. They were paying about 110 for an on-site. Their average claim was $1,100. It was taking about 3 days to get that boots on the ground. Now, these guys are paying Truepic $25. They're getting all of them back in 1 day. Their rental car cost was $40. This fraud detection rate, this is one test we have. It's called a picture of a picture. So we can tell that somebody is taking a picture of a 2D image coming off a computer screen. And we see this happen all the time, right? And we look at the inspection start rate. So this 85% means that comes from the delta between this 32,000 that were triggered and the 27,000 that were started. So there's about 5,000 inspections that were not started, which is about 15% of this 32,000. And you have to stop and pause for a second and say, in what world would a repair facility call up and say, hey, we've got Mike's car here. It's got a warranty plan with you. It's got some broken pieces, parts, whatever. And they say, okay, we just sent you a Truepic link. Click on the link, snap the VIN, odometer, or picture the broken piece or part. It'll take you a minute and we'll approve your claim. And 15% of the time they said, you know what? Don't worry about it. We're good, right? We call that a walk away. And I don't think there's anything more suspicious. We're pretty conservative and we say, we're going to assume 90% of those walkaways are suspicious. In my opinion, it's 100%. I don't see a world why a repair facility would initiate a claim process and just say, on second thought, don't worry about it, we'll fix the car for free, or the car is just going to magically disappear. So when we add these numbers up over here on the right, on the savings side, well, first of all, we're saving massive amounts of time, right? If the traditional inspection takes 3 days and Truepic takes 1, we're saving 2 days per inspection times 27,000 started inspections. So you got 54,000 days. Why those days really matter is when it comes into a rental car cost of $40 per day, that number becomes a big number. Then you look at the apples to apples savings. If you're paying 110 boots on the ground, you're paying 25 at Truepic. These guys are saving $85 per every time they use a Truepic as opposed to boots on the ground. So they save $2.3 million just there. So between the inspection savings and the rental car savings, they're up $4.5 million. Well, then we go into those walkaways. And we said, okay, well, there's 27,000 inspections that were started. We take 90% of the ones that walked away, and we've got 4,300 inspections, right? 4,300 inspections that might have been auto approved or whatnot, depending upon the cost of that claim. You add in the other ones where we identified that picture by picture. So we stopped 5,100 potential fraudulent claims, right? These are all claims that would have been paid out. And you times that by the $1,100 average claim, and you get $5.6 million. You add the two up, and we're talking about $10 million plus, right? And so these were actual numbers from a customer. You know, we met with all of our customers, and we went to them and said, hey, here's what we put together. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us what we're missing. The only thing we got back from a few customers was, I think the original calculator had like $60 for a rental car, and someone said, we pay 40 or whatnot, right? So just massive, massive savings there. I'm going to share my screen again and get back in here. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. I want to pause here if there's any Q&A. Would love to answer any additional questions. And before I jump in, just to kind of sum it all up, you know, we see warranty costs are rising, claim volumes are going up, manual inspections can't keep up. And even if they can, why go down that path if you can do a better, faster, less expensive, you know, process? So would love to obviously answer any questions if anyone has them right now. And of course, I'll provide my contact information, or Pam has it as well. If anyone wants to see a live demo, try the experience themselves, we're happy to trigger you or your colleagues some inspections, and you can actually try the solution. But I'll pause here if anyone has any questions.
I think a tool is a question.
Yeah, a tool from Volkswagen.
Oh, I don't have any question. I just wanted to make a comment. So nice job, Craig.
Thank
I've
you.
been using it since 2018. So I'm 7 years into this, what you're showing today.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, and thanks for all
Yep,
your.
what you are doing, it's a good process. I've created my own because with my IT, but
Yeah.
I've been using it since 2017. This
Love
is
it.
the 8th run running.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you for all the business and thanks for the kind words. It means a lot.
Hey, Craig, you're going to be at the conference, right?
I am going to be at the conference.
And you'll be able to demo this?
I
If someone
would
wants to
love
see
to,
it?
I would love to demo it for anyone that's going to be there.
Great.
And yeah, so I think we're gonna have a booth, so please don't be shy. Happy to demo it there. And if you're a bit tied up there and you want to see a demo via Zoom, this week, next week, week after, happy to do that too.
Maddie, do you want to jump in?
Yes, hi, Matti Kurvinen. Just a question. Have you already seen a significant number of these Gen AI generated photos or in a claim, or do you see that that's something that is now emerging?
Yeah, it's a great question. So what we do, the short answer is yes. We're seeing it and we anticipate we're in the first inning. Like this is the tip of the iceberg, right? Because what bad actors used to do is they would recycle that photograph. As I mentioned, they would save on their desktop or laptop a bunch of photos of damaged pieces, parts, blown out tires, whatever it may be. And they would reuse them again and again and again. Well, with Truepic, we don't allow you to upload any existing photograph into our app. We force you to capture a net new photograph or video, right? And we also have a model that is going to detect if you're taking a picture of a 2D image coming off a computer screen as
Right.
opposed to a physical 3D image, right? So any sort of existing photograph is dead on day one, and any sort of Gen AI photograph is also dead on day one. Now, we are seeing people try to get cute because everyone has these apps, these LLMs up all day, every day. But we start flagging it day one, and very quickly the TPA or the OEM calls up and says, "What the hell are you guys doing?" And the bad business stops pretty immediately. The other solutions that are in our space don't do this, so I would imagine they're getting right through.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Well, thank you guys again for all your time. I know everyone's really busy. I really appreciate you guys learning about what we do. And like I said, please don't be shy if you want to email me or if you want to come up at the conference in 2 weeks. Would love to chat more. Would love to do a demo for you. Like I said, we can also, trigger some inspections to you and your team so you can try it yourself. And Pam, I'll turn it back over to you for this last slide.
Great. Great. No, I thank you very much, Craig, and thank you, Mike, for some great questions. I will be sending out the presentation and the recording in the next day or so. And again, the invitation is there if anyone has not secured their ticket yet for the conference. There is a special offer there, and I will detail that in the email that Craig and Truepic is offering. So I give you back the rest of your day. Thank you very much all for attending, and see you in 10 days' time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.